Hi everyone, today I'm unboxing a legit Super Dollfie Mini. It's a coordinate model, which means it was originally sold with an outfit, wig and eyes, but this one is second hand. I bought from Mandrake, and therefore it doesn't have the full set. It has most of the clothes and it has some eyes, not the ones it came with, and it has no wig at all. This is the outer packaging. This is how it's come from Mandrake, and you can see the boxes here on the inside. In my last video I was looking at a recast Super Dollfie, so it'll be very interesting to see how a legit one compares to a copy. This cost about £200, 32,000 Japanese yen, which is not bad at all for a BJD, especially this size. So the mini size is usually around 40 centimeters, 40 to 50 centimeters. And the box was listed as possibly having some damage, but I can't see any damage at all. Mandrake tends to be very overcautious with its descriptions of damage, perhaps because the Japanese market is a bit more exacting, or because BJD dolls like this are so expensive and well sought after. But it looks fine to me. Okay, so on top we can see the outfit, the coordinate outfit that it came with. It's actually a boy doll, but I did buy some other accessories so that it could make it a boy or a girl, because I think this size the outfit's quite androgynous. But these are good high quality clothes. I think a coordinate model is pretty good value. Okay, it comes with proper soft blanket rather than any other kind of padding. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's like an actual cushion, and the head is always very carefully wrapped. Okay, so this is normal skin, which tends to be fairly yellow, and as the dolls get older they can become even more yellowed. That's considered normal because they're made of resin. The part I tend to focus on is the quality of the face up. I'd say this is a very good quality. The eyebrows have a good amount of kind of shading on them. There's blush, there's real eyelashes, and the eyes that he comes with, although not the ones he was originally sold with, are actually quite nice. I thought that from the pictures they were a bit too strong a blue, but in reality looks pretty good. You can see on the back of the head, this is the legit head pay. It says SD for Super Dollfie, and then it just says CN for coordinate model. It doesn't give the actual sculpt. Now, it said on the listing this is an F20 face sculpt, but the face-ups will vary, I think, for that. So you won't be able to find much information just searching that. I tried to find if there was a way to kind of look at the official sales pictures, but for coordinate models that tends to be difficult because I think they're sold limited release at events. So I'm going to do a little bit about posing. In my last video, a lot of people asked about the joints. One thing I'll say is immediately apparent. This is very loosely jointed. These knees just popped right out like that. I feel like that should be more like that if you're going to pose like that. I don't actually tend to pose my dolls a great deal. I tend to have them standing up, and I'll only do articulation in the arms. And so for me it's about how easy it is to move the arms, and then how they'll hold them, how they'll hold that pose because once I've got them in a position with a look, I tend not to alter it. Right, I might just adjust the angle and do some more poses so you can see what it would look like. So the doll actually stands pretty well by itself, I think, because of its kind of chubby proportions. I actually, because its joints seemed so floppy, expected it to sort of fall over the second I positioned it, but actually stands pretty well. Now if I want to move the arms, it holds at a certain angle, but anything less than that, it just snaps straight back into place. Just kind of wants to glide with the elastic. Yeah, so there's lots of things like second tries, it will sort of, you can sort of snap it into place, but it's still slippery, I'd say. This is definitely how everyone would be posing it. So you see there, it wants to kind of be snapped into place at that joint. It doesn't want to be at a quarter sort of angle. It wants to be at right angles or straight. It's harder to get a slighter angle, but you can move the hands around. For a sitting pose, there's no problem with sitting like this. It can stretch right over like that with the strings gaping at the back. I personally don't like anything where there's a big gap, and you can see. So yeah, once again, I think that he's too loosely strung. It shouldn't really gape at the knees, but you can move the knees into place. As I said, I don't really pose them in dynamic ways, so I don't really know what people would want to see from it. I know that obviously some collectors like to pose them in little dioramas in lots of different ways. I'd say probably this is what someone would say would need being restrung, so it's a bit tighter. But I've never restrung a doll, and I don't want to take a doll apart at all. Okay, so I'm going to dress him now and see how he looks with a full set on. Okay, so here he is in his full boy outfit. The wig I also bought secondhand from Mandrake in the same order. It was only actually about £10. Not that expensive at all, considering. It fits pretty well, and it's just a basic boyish cut. The outfit is pretty good quality. The cardigan is the only thing I would say I'm not 100% sold on. It's got a lot of white fluff on it, but I think that's just part of the design. It's sort of an old cardigan look. It doesn't appear to be like lint or cat hair or anything. It's just literally got a white vein of fluff through it. I brought my Recast Myrtle doll to compare on quality and the kind of the face up, and also for size. She's on, I believe, an SDGR body, so she is a full 1/3 size, while he is an MSD. So he is like a little brother size wise. The outfit didn't come with shoes. That was the other thing I was trying to remember. It didn't come with. So I mentioned in my last video that I ordered the Recast in a special skin tone. I wanted it to be more natural, slightly darker than Volks. Volks are very pale and they're very yellow, and I prefer a slightly pinker creamer colour. She's been upgraded with some jointed hands, and the hands actually are closer to the skin tone I wanted, just a little bit darker than the body. They're close enough that it doesn't look awkward, but that is actually the skin tone I would have chosen. So if we look at the face up, I'd say quality wise, the Recast compares, we'll just take that off, compares very well. So the main difference is, as I mentioned in my last video, I think there was no kind of varnish on the lips. On this one you can see Volks has is a little glisten to the lips to kind of seal it in, but they're also a lot paler towards the edges. The makeup around the eyes is really rather light on this model, and just overall it's a paler effect. I really like how on this one they might have used a lot of pinks and browns to blush on the cheeks, and on that skin tone I think it just looks a lot better. He looks a little sicker, but overall you can see that it's done in the same style, and you can kind of see the comparison in quality. So yeah, we'll try one more outfit on this boy, see how he looks as a girl, and then I think that's all I can offer in this video. Okay, and here he is in a girl's outfit. This wig I also bought from Mandrake in the same order. Mandrake has a lot of very good deals on all sorts of wigs, eyes and accessories, and if you're going to do an order it makes sense to try and get a bunch of items from the same store, because it's shipping that can be very expensive, particularly at the moment as they're only doing shipping by DHL, and it tends to cost at least £35 shipping. This one actually cost more because it's obviously a big package with a doll in it. I can't recall exactly how much more. I think it was more like £45–50, and I had to pay £80 import charges, which was a lot more than I've ever had to pay from Mandrake before, but that's just based on the size and the value of the doll. The dress as well, I'm going to put the name of the dress and the price I paid in the description, and the links to anything that is shown here today, so you can kind of look it up yourself. I'd say I don't usually go for wigs which have a side parting, because I prefer to have the forehead on a doll. It looks a bit weird sometimes. I prefer to have it covered up. I like how this looks, however this does feel a bit loose on here. It feels like, because of the head plate, that he's missing half his skull at the back and it's just super slippy. I almost always end up tucking the wig over the ears to secure it. Like, no matter what brand of wig it is, where it's come from, I find that's the only way to kind of get it really secure and looking kind of more normal. But obviously if you fiddle about with it, you can try lots of different ways. Yeah. I'd say if you're thinking of trying to buy a super Dollfie and you'd like perhaps around this size, it's definitely worth looking at the second-hand market, because this really wasn't that pricey. Compared to a Recast, you're really looking at about the same money. If you're getting a good Recast, so it's not worth getting a copy unless you have specific requests you want, or it's a hard to find doll, you should be able to find something like this on the second-hand market on Mandrake or Yahoo Japan or other auction sites. They do come up fairly regularly, the coordination models, and that of course is what makes it an especially good deal. If you can get an outfit and the eyes with it, it cuts down on the cost of finding a look for the doll. You can put it on display immediately, you can play with it immediately, and you know, you feel like you've got something complete. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful for people, and I've got a couple more dolls coming soon. Well, I say soon, they may take months, but I've got a couple more dolls on order, and so hopefully I'll be able to do some more unboxing and comparison videos when they arrive.